Well, different year, same result, as the Denver Nuggets are yet again heading into a Game 7. The second straight Game 7 they will be facing in as many series played, as the Clippers extended the series and staved off elimination at home in LA behind, surprise, surprise, a great team effort, which included 28 points from James Harden in a massive bounce-back game from his stinker in Game 4, 27 from Kawhi Leonard, and 24 from Norm Powell, all three of which shot over 50% from the field. The Nuggets, meanwhile, well, they played all right, shooting over 50% from the field and 40% from the three-point line, while out-assisting and out-rebounding the Clippers. They got decent games from Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, while, well, Michael Porter Jr., he returned to his heinous ass form following a magnificent Game 4, where he led the team with a plus 34. Well, last night, though, he led the team again, but this time in the wrong direction, at minus 24, which was not merely the worst on the team, but the worst by over 20 points. Ultimately, though, it is nothing shy of downright miraculous that the Nuggets got beyond a Game 4 or 5 in this series, as the Clippers were the best team in the NBA for the last 3 weeks of the regular season, posting the best net rating in the entire league during that stretch, whereas the Nuggets posted the 18th best net rating over that same span of time, while, of course, firing their head coach and general manager. Yes, make no mistake, the Clippers exploded into the playoffs as a darling dark horse pick, while the Nuggets limped in with an eye already set to the offseason. Nonetheless, through the first 6 games of this series, we are at a deadlock. The Clippers have looked to be, by and large, the better team throughout much of this series, and they have been installed, for what it's worth, as a 1.5-point favorite at open in Game 7 on the road. In fact, they have been pre-tip-off favorites in every game of this series after Game 1. They are, after all, the better team. And while Jokic has been the best player in this series, as well he should be, as he is the best player on the face of the planet, Kawhi Leonard is definitely no slouch, and he hasn't been throughout this series. Leonard, who, when healthy as he is now, can make a claim to be one of the best players ever. And regardless of where you think his resume might stack up by the end of his career, Nikola Jokic is dropping a top 10 peak of all time. After all, he is currently sitting as the top-rated PER and BPM player in NBA history, a full point higher in number 2 all-time in box plus minus, which is Michael Jordan. But Kawhi Leonard at peak also has arguably a top 10 one going for him. While he does barely play, when he does, his ceiling is first-team All-NBA and Defensive Player of the Year, a 2-time Finals MVP who is in that form right now. So while Jokic is what Jokic is, there is no doubt Leonard can neutralize that and has throughout this series. Speaking, though, of neutralizing, Zubats has been as advertised as well in limiting Nikola Jokic. And in limiting Jokic, that has meant 25 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 10.5 assists on 51% shooting from the field and 45% from the three-point line. And if Jokic holds those averages through tomorrow night's game, it would be the 3rd time in his career averaging 25, 10, and 10 in a playoff series, and that makes him one of only 6 other players to accomplish the feat all time. A list that includes Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, and Russell Westbrook, all of which did it 1 time, and LeBron James, who did it twice. Again, this would be Jokic's 3rd time, and he's just 30 years old. Despite that, though, the Clippers and Zubats really have done as good of a job as possible on him, and while this series does feel a lot like the last one they played in, the Game 7 semifinal loss to the superior Timberwolves team last year, which came after the Nuggets took a 3-2 lead, this series is not quite like that one, as Jokic has gotten a stellar level of supporting performances from his teammates throughout this series, led by Jamal Murray, who has been solid for most of this series and exceptional for one of the games. But while Jokic has gotten good support, it just hasn't been as good as what Leonard has had, which includes a former league MVP in James Harden, who by and large has played like that form for the vast majority of this series, minus of course his appalling Game 4 performance. But even including that game though, Harden is averaging 21 points and 9 assists per game for the 6-game series. What's more, Harden can do it on his own, oftentimes splitting minutes on the bench with Leonard and carrying the Clippers in the times Kawhi has been out. Harden has been creating his own offense, and throughout stints of this series, absorbing doubles and creating for others, while the vast majority of all of Murray's action is coming off of dribble handoffs and catch and shoots, which he is getting from Jokic. But let's just say these top two options on both of these teams have essentially played each other to a draw. There is no doubt, though, that the Clippers have the advantage from there, as Norman Powell is an absurd fourth option who is averaging 24 points per game on 50% shooting for the first 45 games of his season before missing a month of play from mid-February to mid-March. And all of that is with Zubats giving the Clips 19-10 on 68% shooting as the third guy. More than likely, it will be those guys, the 3 through 7 players, who will determine the outcome of this Game 7. In general, throughout NBA history, it is undeniable the best player wins you Game 7s. But when you have two top 10 to 12 peak players, likely it will be the others that decide this one. In particular, I, of course, will have my eyes on the Murray-Harden dynamic in Game 7. A player in Jamal Murray renowned for his playoff rising, while James Harden, well, notorious for his playoff pants crapping. But I think overall, a big tip of the hat to both teams for giving us by far the best series in this entire first round and bestowing us with the best thing in all of sports. Hell, arguably the best two-word combination in the history of spoken language. Game 7. And it is coming up tomorrow. So make sure you tune in there, and please click that subscribe button here if you haven't already to stay tuned for more from me. Until next time, guys.